the 1977 sci-fi epic Star Wars. This movie is famous for a lot of reasons, but what I'm talking about today is one super memorable quote from Star Wars and who exactly said it. The famous line, "May the Force be with you," was said by who in Star Wars? Was it Han Solo? Or was it Obi-Wan Kenobi? As it turns out, Obi-Wan Kenobi never said, "May the Force be with you" in the original Star Wars movie. Obi-Wan Kenobi said numerous variations of that phrase, such as, "The Force will be with you, always," and "Luke, the Force will be with you," but never that exact line, despite that line seemingly being merchandised to death. Strangely enough though, this line was indeed said in the first Star Wars movie, but it was said by Han Solo, instead of Obi-Wan Kenobi, like so many people seem to remember. What do you think? As always, let's hear about it in the comments below. One of the most famous lines from the entire Star Wars saga comes from Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. During a pivotal moment in the movie, Darth Vader reveals to Luke Skywalker that he is actually Luke's father. This shocking twist actually threw the entire good versus evil trope into the garbage because it made it a much deeper and more morally gray affair. Not only was Darth Vader Luke Skywalker's enemy, it is now also his father. So this line right here by Darth Vader is beloved by millions and quoted an endless amount of times throughout modern history. So here's my question. What is it that Darth Vader said to Luke? Is it, "Luke, I am your father"? Or is it, "No, I am your father"? The iconic line delivered by James Earl Jones is actually, "No, I am your father." Is that what you remember? Somehow the incorrect phrase, "Luke, I am your father," has been repeated countless times online, in other movies, in TV shows, and in popular culture. So tell me, is it possible it actually was, "No, I am your father" all along, and we've just been reciting it incorrectly all these years? Or did the Mandela effect change this line at a certain point in time? I'll leave that answer for you to decide. Let's talk about a new Star Wars Mandela effect that has a lot of fans fighting amongst each other. This particular Mandela effect comes from Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. There is a very memorable scene in the movie where Luke, Leia, Han, and Chewie are all trapped in a room filled with garbage and water. If you've seen Star Wars, you know the scene. Eventually the walls start to close in with the intent to compress all of the trash along with our heroes. Now during this scene, Luke is constantly calling out for C-3PO to help rescue them. Eventually he gets through and yells at C-3PO, "Will you shut up and listen to me?" and blank. What is it that Luke says here?
"We've had some problems."
Will you shut up and listen to me? Shut down all the...
Is it, "Shut down all the garbage mashers on the detention level"? Or is it, "Shut down all the trash compactors on the detention level"? Which do you remember? Usually lines from movies aren't the biggest or best examples of Mandela effects, but when it comes to a mega franchise like Star Wars, it absolutely matters. Fans have seen these movies over and over again. Memorizing lines verbatim comes with the fandom. So what Luke actually yells is, "Shut down all the garbage mashers on the detention level."
Shut down all the garbage mashers on the detention level, will ya? Do you copy? Shut down all the garbage mashers on the detention level!
Is that what you remember? This may seem like a small thing, but apparently a lot of people online completely disagree with this quote. Now here's where things get weird. If you look up the scene on YouTube, most of the videos still have the incorrect title of Star Wars Trash Compactor Scene. Now this could obviously be a human error, but it's strange that video after video makes the same mistake in the title. Luke never says trash compactors, he says garbage mashers, a very different and distinct thing. It's almost as if the line has somehow changed from what people remember. Let's get into the comments. Just as expected, it's filled with people confused as to why this line is now different. You know it's a good one when you see dozens of comments across multiple videos saying, "Is this a Mandela effect?" That is my favorite thing to read in a comment section. Which leads to the question, was it altered at some point? Was it changed on the DVD or the Blu-ray release, or did George Lucas or Disney make this change? And if so, why? Remember that George Lucas changed his movies a lot after they were already released. It's this weird perfectionist streak that every artist suffers from. No piece of art is ever good enough, it can be better. Just a little tweak here, a couple of changes there. Because of this, it's totally possible that there could be a version out there with the original line of trash compactors. But as far as I or anyone else can find online thus far, Luke has always said, "Shut down all the garbage mashers on the detention level." So I'd like everyone out there to go check your VHS tapes, your DVDs, your Blu-rays, your streaming, just check and see if you can find the different one, because no one's been able to find it yet. It's really weird. So here's my question for you. Is this a Mandela effect, as in this line has somehow, for some reason, changed? Or is this the case of a lot of people misremembering and misquoting this line for decades? Anything's possible, but I leave this decision in your hands. Let me hear it in the comments below. C-3PO has always had a shiny and polished golden body, but one particular and allegedly changed detail has been causing a lot of controversy. This specific controversy? Well, that's my Mandela effect question. Has C-3PO always had one random silver leg? Yes or no? The answer to that question is now a perplexing to many yes. Strangely enough, this odd detail was discussed very little until this Mandela effect began to spread. Many Star Wars fans claim that C-3PO's legs have always been golden, yet somehow, in A New Hope, this detail has seemingly and retroactively changed. So what do you think? Do you remember one leg being silver and one leg being gold, or both legs being gold? One final interesting detail is that the original notes from the 1977 costume and prop department claim that one of the lower halves of C-3PO's legs is indeed silver, as to give him a more travel-worn look and a less than perfect persona. Do you believe this to be true, or is this the Mandela effect in action? I'm still not quite sure how walking around and having travel-worn legs would lead to C-3PO having one leg becoming silver from gold. I'm not really sure how that works or how that even makes sense, but if that was the case, wouldn't both legs be silver? Is he just hopping around on one foot? I don't know. A lot of people remember them both being gold, and some people always remember seeing silver. So, let me know in the comments below. I'm super curious to hear what you think. Last but not least is a quote from Star Wars Episode 3, where tons of people online remember Padme saying, "This is how democracy dies," with thunderous applause. But apparently she never said democracy. She said liberty. So now apparently she says this is how liberty dies, with a thunderous applause. Online, I have seen so many shocked reactions to this one.